sorry. Hi. Here's all the guys you didn't tell me. I'm so second. Okay, listen, guys. I'm supposed to be giving you Devar Torah today about how to survive the summer. Today's lecture, it's a very big Yesodia, about how to, let's cut this part out, about the two biggest enemies you're going to have over the summer. Actually, you've had over the summer. Who are your two biggest enemies? Of course, your parents and your Rebbe, right? I'm going to kicked out for this, but I don't care because I tell the truth. What do I mean your two biggest enemies are your parents and your Rebbe? Very simply. You come home after a whole year studying and you grew, things went fantastic. You did really well. You came for Shachris, you learned, and you stopped robo-tripping. All the things that you worked on at Yesodia, you worked on, you come home. First day, you come up, you wake up for, you want to wake up for Shachris, and you're like, your mother comes in and she's like, Daniel, ¿cómo estás? Daniel, get up, ¿cómo estás? Daniel, get up. Daniel, it's time for the Shachris. Oh, so nice to see you. And this is what goes on every day for like a week, and finally motherfuckers said, Daniel, Micha, JJ, Dove, what the heck are you doing? We're saying this for a whole year. This is what happens to you? You're thinking to yourself, gosh, this is what I have to come home for? I was doing so well, now I feel like a piece of garbage, I feel horrible. And the reality is, why are your parents treating you like this? Why are they saying that? Not just that, why don't you learn? Why don't you do some Torah? And you think, do you want some Robitussin? It's just like, what's going on over here? Why? Because, why are they treating you like children? Because you're their child. Is that true? Yeah. And parents treat children like children. When are they going to stop? Here's the tip. When you stop acting like children, not that you're acting like children, God forbid, you start acting like adults, clapping them. What does that mean? I start acting more mature, I start taking responsibility, I start showing them that I'm taking my life into my own hands and I'm taking responsibility for things I have to do. For example, big mistake many teenagers make is that they don't think about consequences. They do things even though they're going to get hurt. No, they laugh about it. I go out late, no, I'm going to miss my appointment for a new job tomorrow, or interview, whatever it is. We start taking things responsible. I'm coming home early because I know I have an interview, a job. The parents are like, wow, my child's becoming more mature. They're going to give you more leeway. They're going to start treating you differently. That's a very big tool. And of course, put yourself in their perspective. Think about if this was your child. How would he be acting if I would do this to them, and vice versa? What would I want my child to do in order to have me garner more trust in them? That's step number one. Now, your second biggest enemy, your Rebbe. We know your Rebbe. Know him well. Same first name as me. All right? His name is Yitz. Yitz, he has an Irish last name. O'Hara. Yitz O'Hara. And this Rebbe, he has you by the nose. Everything you want him to do, he wants you to do. Why is that? Because he has a very nice message. Everybody listen to him. Rabbi Bannon, Rabbi Sholem, Rabbi Katzenstein, Rabbi Kornblau, Rabbi Goldsmith, all the great Rebbeim. I could go through them, Rabbi Joshua. Come on, they're not really in for your best interest. All right? I'm in for your best interest. Drop everything. Come on, you're thinking. But really, what's his main message? His main message is one of bias. I'll give you an example. I once had a dude ask the rabbi, and a kid wrote in, and he said, Rabbi, can I talk to girls? And I said, well, talk to girls. I get an answer back and forth. Second email, can I touch girls? Okay, touch girls, answer back and forth. Third email, there can't be a God. Why? Because this science and that science. Now, this kid didn't know that science is like my second favorite subject, and I tore his questions apart. And he was pretty well blown away. And I said, what happened? He said, well, the girl thing threw him off track. The answer is great time. It's usually around when the girls come around. All right, suddenly I go to a bar and then they can't be God. I go to they can't be God. All right, girlfriend boss says, can't be God. Because that's what happens. How do we deal with that? It turns out it's bias. And I told the stories over to a guy. How much more time do I have, Rabbi? Told the stories over to a guy. To the guys, nice story. So this is all very improv. But that's why a little bit staccato, but I'm going to told this anyway. About a guy who came to ask the rabbi, asked the question. He said, Rabbi, he said, yes, if you answer these 13 questions, I'll become religious. So that's a pretty interesting request. So you become religious, that's your own beef. I answered his questions, they were kind of very good questions. This guy was a chief engineer in Boeing in Seattle. He was a very, very respectable person. His email had like the whole 80 lines of of stuff afterwards. The guy was big stuff. I answered his questions, and he said, "Thank you so much." I became religious, went to class and stuff. And after a few weeks, it was driving me nuts. I went out of protocol, and I wrote this guy a letter. I said, "Kid, what went on over here? Why on earth did you wait for 13 questions? Like, what was going on? Almost like you woke up one morning at 13 questions?" I said, no. So I went to Discovery 10 years ago, and they blew my mind. I said, there has to be a God. No question. Next morning I woke up, and I said, there can't be a God. No, I can't do this. My whole life changed. My God. So I knocked it out with the question. After the cornflakes, I was like, that question's pretty lousy. Then what happened? Boom! Oh, there has to be a God again. Okay. Back to the whole thing. Boom, boom, back and forth. And I thought of another question. And it freed me. Completely let me off the hook. And that went on for a day or so until I thought of an answer. That question was lousy. This went on back and forth. For 10 years this went on. 10 years. I had 13 questions I couldn't answer. And I was so driven. I knew there was a God the whole time. I knew it. It was so deep inside. It was so true. I had to get this off my head. But how do I do that? All right? I don't know how to do it. So I wrote you. I said, if you can answer these questions, you do me the biggest favor in the world. Because you're showing me that I'm just playing a game with myself. Chaim Volozhin once had a student come up to him, going off the derech. So I said, why did you go off the derech? I said, what happened? I had questions. Why did you have questions before or after you went off the derech? I said, afterwards. I said, those aren't questions. Those are answers. I can answer any question you guys ask. You know that. We're pretty good at that. Any question you guys ask. Your answers? There's no answer for an answer. You know why? Because it doesn't need an answer. Answer doesn't want an answer. Answer couldn't care less about an answer. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The Yetzirah, Rabbi Yitz Elhara, or Ohara, comes up to you and says, yo, drop everything. And in your back of your mind, you're thinking about whatever Yetzirah it is that you want to do. All right? Generally, it's a female. All right, think to yourself, I really know there's a God. This is a game. I'm not going to play that game. So let's just do a quick review. Our two biggest enemies really are not our enemies, it's just with ourselves. We can overcome them easily, and we can ace everything. Guys, I wish you a fantastic summer. For those I know, I miss you very much. Please be in contact. You have my email address. For those that don't know, you can write me anyway. You're fantastic. I love you all. Have a wonderful summer and everything. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Jump on you.
Stop again. Stop.